TerraGrunt, ever heard of it? Well, buckle up because today's video is all about unraveling the mysteries behind this powerful tool. Now, if you are someone who juggles multiple environments and craves simplicity in your infrastructure management, you are in for a treat. This video isn't just another run-of-the-mill tutorial, it's your gateway to unlocking a whole new level of efficiency. So grab your popcorn and let's dive straight into the magic of TerraGrunt. Hey everyone, I'm Lionel, your guide through the Terraform series and a proud Microsoft certified trainer. Today we are diving into TerraGrunt, your ticket to streamline DRI, don't repeat yourself, Terraform code. In our last adventure we explored Terraform in Azure, laying the foundation for our cloud infrastructure aspirations. But now we are taking it up a notch. Stick around as we uncover 3 major principles of TerraGrunt that will revolutionize your coding game. And hey, before we start, hit that subscribe button below to join our learning community and never miss out on the exciting content we release each week. So are you ready to level up your Terraform skills? Let's dive in and discover the intriguing world of TerraGrunt together. Before talking about TerraGrunt, I just want to give you a use case to illustrate our different reasons to use TerraGrunt. Here we are going to provision different resources like a resource group, an app service and an app service plan in 2 different environments in 2 different regions, so 4 deployments. For that kind of deployment, if we had to provision only one application in one region and one environment, we would probably have something like this through Terraform. Different .tf files, like the backend.tf, the main.tf, variables and providers.tf, and some other files like the terraform.tf vars to configure different values for our variables, and also an appservice.tf which is going to call a module called AppService. Now, if we want to use the same code, we would probably have something like this. A folder like dev and prod, with another one for each region, or you can do the other way, each region and the dev and prod folders, with the same Terraform files. Moreover, we are not only repeating ourselves, but how are we going to configure easily different module versions, provider versions for each environment? How can we find then easily differences between our environments, like specific resources or configurations? Of course, we can use conditions, we can use different variable groups or terraform.tf vars, but it's going to be really difficult to manage. Here are some different solutions for our use case. Of course, TerraGrunt, we are going to see this later. We can use workspaces and repository branches. The problem with that 2 other solutions is that we are not going to be able to work with multiple modules concurrently. We are not going to be able to minimize code duplication. As you can imagine, with branches, our code is not going to be easily merged, and with workspaces, we have no solution to handle different backends. The only trade-off with TerraGrunt is that you are going to have to learn another technology. But as you are going to see in the next video, that's not really complicated. Okay, now we can see the first reason to use TerraGrunt. On the left, you have the code we have just seen. If you move to TerraGrunt, you are going to isolate your Terraform code to your TerraGrunt code. It means that the app service module will live on its own and have its own life cycle. In this example, it's in the same folder, but a good practice would be to move this folder to a repository. We'll have 2 repositories, one for the Terraform code and one for the TerraGrunt code. In the TerraGrunt folder, we can see a lot of different HCL files, and what you have to understand is that if you want to run TerraGrunt, you're going to use the same commands than Terraform. So it means that if you want to run a Terraform plan, you are going to run TerraGrunt plan in a specific directory. So if we want to provision the infrastructure of the environment dev in the region EastUS, we are going to move to this folder, AppService, in the dev and EastUS folder. We are going to be here, and we are going to run TerraGrunt init and then TerraGrunt plan and apply to provision our resources. In all HCL files, we have the specific inputs and variables we need to configure our environment. So in the app service/terragrunt.htl file, we'll have only the necessary configuration for this specific context. We have a file for the region with the specific configurations. We have a file for the environment, for the configuration for the current environment. And one last terragrunt.htl, which is the root terragrunt.htl, which contains everything related to all environments and regions. What is going to happen is that when we are going to run terragrunt init and terragrunt plan, terragrunt is going to merge each .htl he finds on his way. So it's going to merge the terragrunt.htl, the region, the environment, and the root terragrunt.htl file. It means that we are going to have a unique configuration for our current context. We'll see in the next video in more details how to configure those files, but here you have only to understand for the moment that we are going to have one repository for the Terraform code and one for the Terragrunt code. Terraform code will be basically the module, and the Terragrunt code will be basically all the configurations for each use cases. And as we dive deeper into this fascinating aspect of Terragrunt, remember there is so much more to explore. If you are finding value in what you are learning and eager for more, then make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Not only will you stay in the loop with our latest content, but you will also become a vital part of our vibrant learning community. The second reason to use Terragrunt is that we are not going to have only our Terraform code dry, but also the Terragrunt architecture dry. Indeed, as we have seen just before, we are going to have one file for each folder, so one for the module, one for the region, one for the environment, and one at the root of our folder. And we are going to be able to configure each specific folder with a specific configuration. So you are not going to repeat yourself. Each folder and each terragrunt.htl file will have its own configuration and nothing will be repeated. So we'll only have the necessary in each of these HCL files. Just a little example for you. Here in the environment specific.htl file, we'll only create a local called environment, which will be the name of the folder we are in, and same thing for the region. So region will have the value east-west or east-us2, and environment will have the value prod or dev. Then in the terragrunt.htl in the app service folder, we'll configure several things. The first thing we are going to configure is that we need to load the terragrunt.htl, which is at the root of our folder. Then we are going to specify the module we want to use. So it can be a directory or a repository, and we can specify the version. And finally, inputs, which are the variables we are going to provide to our module. So here you can see that we provide a tag input, which is going to be passed to our module. As I told you, we are going to see this in details in the next video, so for the moment, just understand the different reasons we are using Terragrunt. If you are finding these Terragrunt insights as fascinating as I do, don't hesitate to drop a comment below. Seriously, whether you're curious about how to implement some of these techniques, or you just want to share your own experiences, I'm all ears. Your questions and insights not only help me tailor future content, but also create a community of learners right here. So hit that comment button and let's keep the conversation rolling. Alright, back to the action. One last reason, and maybe the most important one, with Terragrunt you can specify dynamic backends. So it means that you can configure only one time a dynamic name or dynamic configuration for each of your different backends that are going to host the different TF state files. As you can see here, we have the root Terragrunt HCL file, and what we have configured is the generate backend block. In this generate backend block, we can see that some configurations are dynamic because we are using variables. Variables and locals are configured just as we have seen before by using the different HCL files related to different environments and regions. It means that for each of our regions, east-west, east-us2, and each environment, dev and prod, we are going to dynamically create or use a backend with a specific context. We are going to use the resource group name tfstate-east-west dev or dev east-us-rg. The different locales that we are using have been configured by reading the different files. Same thing, we'll see this in details in our next video. So for the moment, just remember the three main reasons we have seen together. Wow, we're on these three aspects of Terragrunt a good reason to start using it. Let's recap what we have learned today. First, Terragrunt helps us keep our Terraform code dry, ensuring efficiency and simplicity in our infrastructure management. Second, it aids in keeping our remote state configuration dry, streamlining collaboration and maintenance across teams. And finally, TerraGrunt allows us to maintain dry architecture, paving the way for scalable and maintainable infrastructure. Thanks so much for tuning in. Your support means the world to me. Remember to stay safe out there, and I can't wait to catch you in the next video. Until then, happy coding and see you soon. Hey, thank you so much for dropping by my channel today. Here are some other videos that may interest you. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button to be informed of the weekly updates. Let's keep growing a fantastic learning community together. My goal is to assist as many people as possible on their cloud and DevOps learning journey. That's it, take care and see you next time.